Part 1. The beginning of the story. The Qur'an begins the story with these words: "We relate to you the best of stories through what we have revealed to you of this Qur'an." Surah Yusuf, verse 3. This is not a tale for amusement. It's a journey of a soul, a story of patience, faith, and trust in the divine decree. In the land of Canaan lived Prophet Jacob, who had 12 sons. One of them was Joseph, radiant in face, pure in heart, and chosen by God. One night, Joseph saw a dream, a vision so vivid it would shape his destiny. He came to his father at dawn and said, "O my father, indeed I saw 11 stars, and the sun and the moon. I saw them prostrating to me." Surah Yusuf, verse 4. Jacob felt the weight of this vision in his heart. He said softly, "My dear son, do not relate your dream to your brothers, lest they plot against you. Indeed, Satan is a manifest enemy to man." Surah Yusuf, verse 5. He knew that his beloved child was chosen for a divine mission, but he also knew that every chosen one must first be tested. Part 2. The jealousy of brothers. Joseph's brothers were filled with envy. They said among themselves, "Joseph and his brother are dearer to our father than we are. Though we are a strong group, our father is clearly mistaken." Surah Yusuf, verse 8. And envy led them to whisper the darkest of thoughts: "Kill Joseph, or cast him away to some distant land, so that our father's favor will be only ours." Surah Yusuf, verse 9. Their hearts hardened, and Satan made their plan seem fair in their eyes. The next day, they came to Jacob and said, "O father, send Joseph with us tomorrow. He will eat and play." Jacob hesitated. "I fear that a wolf may eat him while you are heedless." But they reassured him, "We will protect him." And so Joseph set out that morning, smiling, unaware that he was walking toward his greatest trial. Part 3. The Well. They reached a lonely desert. There stood a deep, dark well. Without mercy, they seized their brother and threw him into it. Surah Yusuf, verse 15. The echo of falling water faded into silence. Joseph clung to faith and whispered, "My Lord, you are with me. Do not leave me alone." Above, his brothers stained his shirt with false blood. That night, they returned weeping. "O our father, the wolf has devoured him." Jacob looked at the shirt, untouched, not torn. He closed his eyes and said, "Rather, your souls have enticed you to something. So patience is most fitting, and Allah is the one whose help is sought." Surah Yusuf, verse 18. He knew the truth, yet he surrendered to patience. Part 4. The Caravan and the Sail. In the darkness of the well, Joseph continued to pray. Then, by the will of God, a caravan came by. A water drawer lowered his bucket, and as he pulled it up, he cried, "Good news! Here is a boy!" They sold Joseph in Egypt for a few silver coins, a small price for a soul of immeasurable worth. Surah Yusuf, verse 20. The one who bought him was the vizier, a man of power and wealth. He said to his wife, "Take good care of him. Perhaps he may benefit us, or we might adopt him as a son." Surah Yusuf, verse 21. And thus began Joseph's life in the palace. Though a stranger in the foreign land, God was with him, granting him wisdom and grace. Part 5. The Temptation of Zuleika. Years passed. Joseph became a man of beauty and purity. His face shone with light, and his heart was filled with faith. The vizier's wife, Zuleika, was captivated by him. One day, when the house was empty, she locked the doors and said, "Come to me, Joseph." Surah Yusuf, verse 23. He replied, "I seek refuge in Allah. Indeed, my master has treated me well. Surely, wrongdoers will never succeed." He ran toward the door. She grabbed his shirt from behind and tore it. At that moment, the vizier entered. To hide her guilt, she accused Joseph. What should be the punishment for one who intended evil towards your wife? A witness from her household said, if his shirt is torn from the front, she is truthful. But if it is torn from the back, then she lies. Surah Joseph, verse 26. And behold, the shirt was torn from behind. Joseph was proven innocent, yet rumors spread throughout the city. Women mocked Zuleika, so she invited them to a feast. She gave each a knife and called Joseph in. When they saw him, they were astonished and cut their hands, saying, perfect is Allah. This is not a man, this is none but a noble angel. Surah Joseph, verse 31. Ashamed, yet defiant, Zuleika said, if he does not yield to me, he shall be imprisoned. Joseph turned to his lord. My lord, prison is dearer to me than what they invite me to. If you do not turn their plot away from me, I might incline toward them. Surah Joseph, verse 33. And God heard his prayer. He was imprisoned, but he was never forsaken. Part 6. Wisdom in Prison. Even in the darkness of prison, Joseph's light did not fade. 2 young men entered with him. One said, I dreamt that I was pressing wine. The other said, I saw myself carrying bread on my head, and birds were eating from it. They asked, tell us its interpretation, for we see you are of the righteous. Surah Joseph, verse 36. Joseph replied, no food will come to you, but that I will inform you of its interpretation before it arrives. That is from what my Lord has taught me. He explained, one of you will serve wine to his master, the other will be crucified, and birds will eat from his head. The matter is decreed. Surah Joseph, verse 41. He said to the one who would be freed, mention me before your master. But the man forgot, and Joseph remained in prison for many years. Surah Joseph, verse 42. Part 7. The king's dream and Joseph's rise. One night, the king of Egypt saw a troubling dream. I saw 7 fat cows being eaten by 7 lean ones, and 7 green ears of grain and 7 dry ones. Surah Joseph, verse 43. No one could interpret it. Then the freed prisoner remembered Joseph. He was brought before the king. Joseph said, you will sow for 7 consecutive years. Then will come 7 hard years, which will consume what you have saved, except a little which you preserve. Surah Joseph, verse 47. The king admired his wisdom and said, indeed, today you are established and trusted in our presence. Joseph replied, appoint me over the storehouses of the land. Indeed, I am a good keeper and knowledgeable. Surah Joseph, verse 55. And so the boy once thrown into a well was now entrusted with the treasures of Egypt. Patience had turned captivity into honor. Part 8. Reunion. The years of famine came. People from distant lands came to Egypt seeking food, among them Joseph's brothers. They stood before him, not recognizing who he was. Surah Joseph, verse 58. Joseph gave them provisions and said, bring me your youngest brother next time. If you do not, you shall have no measure from me. When they returned with Benjamin, Joseph took him aside and whispered, I am your brother. Do not be saddened by what they did. Surah Joseph, verse 69. He devised a plan to keep Benjamin with him. The king's cup was placed in Benjamin's bag. When the search was made, it was found there, and Benjamin was accused of theft. The brothers were speechless. Then, unable to restrain himself any longer, Joseph said, do you know what you did to Joseph and his brother when you were ignorant? They gasped, are you indeed Joseph? He said, I am Joseph, and this is my brother. Allah has been gracious to us. Whoever fears Allah and is patient, indeed Allah does not allow the reward of the good to be lost. Surah Joseph, verse 90. Overwhelmed with guilt, they said, indeed Allah has preferred you over us, and we have surely been sinners. Joseph smiled gently. No blame will there be upon you today. May Allah forgive you. He is the most merciful of the merciful. Surah Joseph, verse 92. Part 9. The Return to Jacob. Joseph said, "Take this shirt of mine and cast it over my father's face. He will regain his sight. Then bring me your entire family." Surah Joseph, verse 93. As the caravan departed Egypt, Jacob said from afar, "Indeed, I sense the scent of Joseph, though you think me senile." Surah Joseph, verse 94. When the shirt was laid upon his face, his vision returned, and he wept with gratitude. Soon, the entire family came to Egypt. Joseph embraced his parents and seated them beside him on the throne. His brothers bowed before him in respect, and thus his childhood dream was fulfilled. Surah Joseph, verse 100. Part 10. The Wisdom of the Story. Joseph's journey began with a dream and ended with its realization. He was cast into darkness, yet rose to light. He was betrayed, yet forgave. He was imprisoned, yet became free through patience and faith. Indeed, Allah is subtle in what He wills, and He does not allow the reward of the righteous to be lost. Surah Joseph, verse 100. O listener, remember the patience of Joseph, the tears of Jacob, and the mercy of the one who never forgets his servants. No well is too deep for his mercy, no prison too dark for his light, and no wound too old for his healing.